Rey Mysterio, or so some people are saying, is in contract talks right now with loads of different promotions. In fact, it's such hot news and it's so exciting, maybe by the time you hear these words coming out of my mouth, he will have already signed. That's how exciting it is right now. It is still unknown, and as of yet, he hasn't signed with WWE. And if he doesn't sign with WWE, well, that's gonna be a huge mistake. Why? Here's why. Now, we all know that Rey Mysterio is a legend. He basically changed the wrestling business, and if you are a smaller guy in the industry today, Rey Mysterio probably influenced you in some fashion, and that's pretty incredible all round. Even in this sport where the big guy reigns supreme, Mysterio found a way to make himself a massive success. That is such a hard thing to do at any sport, and given that Rey managed to achieve everything he did, well, that's even more inspiring still. He's a legend, and he's always going to be remembered no matter how far in the future we go. That's incredible. Everyone should aim for that. Rey Mysterio is entrenched in wrestling history. No matter what happens now, that's it. He's done it. He's a hero. Hence why it's also awesome that Rey Mysterio is taking on Will Ospreay in the upcoming WCPW World Cup Finals. I just wanted to throw that in there. And in many ways, it's going to be flipping brilliant. And I use flipping there in the literal sense because you do have Will Ospreay and you do have Rey Mysterio. But let's be honest, you want to see that match, I want to see that match. So even though I've thrown it in here, it makes a lot of sense and we should all go get ready for that match. Anyway, if WWE is interested in bringing Rey back in and Rey is interested in going back to WWE, then that's a deal that should definitely be done because for one, it'd just be really cool. Returning star comes back, that always gets 2 thumbs up. We all recall Rey's time there, so to see him have one final run, it's just gonna fill your insides with warmth because that always happens. Awesome guy comes back, says goodbye, moves on, we're all happy, wrestling. On top of this, however, it's actually how you use him. Now in the long term, of course, he should be put on either Raw or SmackDown and probably even given one last go with the belt because he's of that ilk. You see him come back, you remember he's a star, he gets his final world title run, then he walks off into the distance. That's just how it works. Before all that, mind, I think that Rey Mysterio should be put on 205 Live. And I know as soon as I say that, you're in shock and your jaw hits the floor because you think I've just told WWE to bring back Mysterio and put him on a brand that's borderline broken. And before anybody says anything, that's nothing to do with the performers that are in the Cruiserweight division. That's just how WWE has booked it. And they balked it. However, you've heard that saying that it's not the title that makes the man, and it's the man that makes the title. And that is the hard truth. Hence why we could bring Jinder Mahal in here, but we're not going to because that's a different argument for a different time. With that in mind though, there's every chance Rey Mysterio could be brought in, be put in 205 Live, and be the man that makes the division. Obviously, you'd have to build the whole thing around him, and obviously, you'd have to let him have a lot of say in what he did. But if WWE could start shouting about the fact there's now this huge star on 205 Live and then actually let the Cruiserweights have the matches that we want to see, well, I think that thing could be turned around in weeks. I know I go out of my way to watch it every Tuesday, and sometimes maybe I'd even be more excited about that than Raw or SmackDown because it would feel different and it probably would be the most exciting hour on WWE TV. Whereas at the moment they just say that, but it's not true at all. Who doesn't want to see him versus Neville, him versus TJP, him versus Tozawa? And I know those last 2 names need a kick up the rear in terms of notability, but that's what Rey can do. Put him in those matches, and all of a sudden guys like that are going to start to feel like stars. It's called getting the rub just by being associated with someone, and that's what you should do. You use the old talent to make the new talent. Come on, it's really simple. That's not just exciting, but it makes all the sense in the world too. And of course there's going to be a bedding in process. There will be a short time where it's like, why the hell is Rey Mysterio on 205 Live? But then you get the buzz and then you start hearing about it and you think, man, I gotta watch. And you do gotta watch. Gotta see those 619s. And again, you don't keep him here. You use his talent and his skill and his notoriety to get everything going. And then you move him to Raw, you move him to SmackDown and get on with his last hurrah. And there's loads of scenarios there that he could be inserted into too, even if it was just working with somebody like Sami Zayn. And I know that's a bizarre name to just pull out of the hat, but again, if somebody tells me that I can tune into SmackDown on a Tuesday and see Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn, have a guess what I'm going to be doing on a Tuesday. That's 2 of my favourite guys that I'd like to see work working, so I'm gonna watch it, otherwise I'll miss it, and I don't want to miss it, because that would be like doing my brain a disservice. There's countless of these too, and they all present really interesting feuds. Rey and Reigns, Rey and Rollins, Rey and Ambrose, Rey and Joe, Rey and Styles. Hell, Rey versus Braun Strowman. And there's always that worry with that kind of match where you've got super big guy versus super small guy that WWE will just book it so that Braun runs through Rey. But that may not happen, and I bet the really, really big strong guy against the really, really good technical high flyer guy could be gold. Gold! Much as it always does with talent that are free, it comes down to the brand split, and that both needs more depth. So if you do have someone out there that has star power, you should bring them in, because no matter which one you add them to, that one is all of a sudden going to feel better than it did before they were added to it. And I kind of stumbled over that because that was a bit like a maths equation, but you get my point. Talented man goes on Raw, Raw is better. Talented man goes on SmackDown, SmackDown is better. It's basics. And I know there was apparently some problems before, but I imagine now that's water under the bridge, and even if it's not, considering WWE seems to forgive everybody, why wouldn't they forgive Rey here and vice versa? And it can't have been that bad, because nothing huge came out, and when something's that bad, it always spills out onto the internet and we debate it for ages. This just seemed like a contract dispute. That's nothing in the world of WWE. Either way, WWE needs stars. Rey Mysterio is a star, and if you did bring him back, he's going to sell loads of merchandise too. Kids love him. Kids love Rey, and kids will always spend money or nag their parents to spend money on their behalf. And we all love him too. Except when he's taking the place of Daniel Bryan in a Royal Rumble, and that really pisses us off. But aside from that, Rey seems to have that special quality where we all buy in and we're always happy to see him. So why not? Everybody's winning. Everyone's going to be happy. We can all have smiles on our faces. Now watch as he goes to TNA GFW or whatever the hell it's called, and that would be a shame. I mean, I'd still tune in over there to see what he was going to do, but history is a powerful tool, and I'd rather history was used to see him go back to where I know he made a home for himself. But it's wait and see for now. But Rey, if you are watching this, and of course you're watching this, why wouldn't you be watching this? I hope I see you in a Raw or a SmackDown ring very soon, or 205 Live. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Rey Mysterio and whereabouts he should go. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com, read yourself some articles, use your eyes, then go on Twitter, find What Culture at What Culture WWE, and give him a little follow. I'm Simon from What Culture. This was the Why series. I'm going to be back soon like a bad smell. Weird thing, I don't smell. I'm unsmellable.